It's the Record Collectors 7 to 9. By the way, I'm Chris Savory. This is Mike Adams.
This is the Record Collectors with the gruesome twosome Mike Adams and Chris Savory.
Somebody also said to me, what is mint? We got into quite a long discussion on this, and I'm going to ask Mike on this about what is mint. When we use the term in record collecting, what is mint? So, Mike, you give your view, and I'll start throwing in these comments I got.
Well, a mint record is something that is perfect. It does not have to be new. There's a brand new record and a mint record. You can have a record that is not new, but is still perfect. It's been kept, played properly, there are no scratches, there are no noises when the record or the compact disc is played. The sleeve is absolutely uncreased, there is no writing on it, unless of course it was an autograph, and it is kept just as the day it came out of the shop. It's been well taken care of, and it's immaculate. It doesn't mean new, it just means it's perfect.
So what happens, and this was the query was put to me, what happens if you look at it and there are one or two, and we are talking one or two, we're not talking about 20, one or two very faint, just a couple of very faint scuff marks on there. Is it excellent? Because surely the term for excellent means there are a few marks, possibly the odd little mark off the centre by where it used to go on the, if there'd have been a spindle or something. So where does it fall then? Because now, according to most music magazines, and this was the point put to me, you can't use minus and you can't use plus. Does that mean that record goes down a big step, even though it sounds absolutely perfect?
Let's qualify this subject, because you and I are both old enough to realise, Chris, that mint minus has been used by the record collecting fraternity since the very beginning of record collecting. It only got abolished by one national magazine, which was Record Collector magazine,
and then everyone had to follow suit.
Yeah.
Basically.
So this was actually but mint minus covered exactly the thing you've just said. It covered the point where a record is virtually perfect, but had a few marks on it and was mint minus. Now, a national magazine did away with that and jumped right down a category to excellent. Frankly, I think mint minus, it was an excellent term for what you've just described, and I think it's very sad it hasn't continued. And I argued this with the editor of Record Collector magazine back in 1900 and frozen to death, and they wanted to reduce the categories, but there we are. They put an excellent argument forward, and there's a lot of justification of what they're saying, but I think mint minus, when you've got something that's just a fraction of being perfect, was a good way of saying it, actually. And I think excellent just drops down a fair way beneath it. So I still like the expression mint minus. It's just that whether or not the magazine will accept that category when you actually submit it. But I think it was a very good category.
Because it was that step. You see, this was the argument. The step was on that step from mint to excellent, that on an expensive record that's mint is 100 and excellent is 75 to 80 pounds, then why should one little mark which does not affect play at all and can just barely be seen mean that it's £20 less? This was the argument. It was really the mint minus.
And I'm inclined to agree with the person who's arguing with you, frankly. And I think that the new gradings were because the weight of the press and the media has it. But hopefully we maybe redress that a bit this evening.